Hey, I'm Pat. Welcome to Daily Devo. Today we're going to be talking about comparisons. I think one of the big mistakes is when we compare ourselves. We either go to one extreme or the other. On one hand, we feel insignificant because we compare ourselves, and we can always find someone who's bigger, faster, stronger, prettier, smarter, better at whatever we do. So we either feel insignificant or we swing it over to the other extreme and we compare ourselves to someone who's less than whatever. And then you start becoming arrogant and proud. So comparisons can be dangerous, and I think you and I need to avoid comparisons, except when it comes to forgiveness. Hmm? Look what Paul says in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31 and 32. Paul writes, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior." Verse 32. "Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you." See, it would be one thing if Paul said, you need to forgive. Because what we would do as humans is we would go like, okay, well, I'll forgive. And then we'd qualify it with something. We'd say, well, I'm going to forgive as well as my parents forgave, or I'm going to forgive as well as my spouse forgives, or I'm going to forgive. But Paul doesn't compare what he calls us to with forgiveness to our spouses or to our parents or to children or to coworkers. He says, forgive as Christ forgave. My wife and I have been married for a lot of years now, but I remember in our first few months of marriage, I was driving to work one day and I was angry. I was angry because we had one of those silly arguments. I don't remember what it was about now, but I do remember that I had been keeping count, and I had evidence. I knew that it was her turn to say sorry. I'd said sorry the last 3 times, and I had evidence. Boom, win. I'm going to wait her out. She's gonna say sorry this time. And then, deep within my soul and my mind and my heart, I heard God speak to me. And you know what he said? He quoted this verse. He said, "Forgive as I forgive, Pat." Aren't you glad I don't keep count, Pat? Whew. Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't keep count. Can you imagine if today you came to Jesus and you said, "Jesus, forgive me," and he said, "Sorry, I can't." You reached your limit. Today in your relationships with your spouse or your children or your parents or your brothers and sisters or your coworkers or your fellow students, today in all of your relationships, try not to compare so much, except when it comes to forgiveness. And then forgive as Jesus forgives.